Hot and crunchy fried chicken, doused in a thick, slightly sweet and salty sauce.
This looks so good.
General Tso's chicken is one of America's best-known comfort foods. You can't go through a Chinese restaurant menu without running into General Tso's chicken. But this dish wasn't even created in China. So, who invented this beloved chicken recipe? Chinese-American chef David Tso, a U.S. government official. General Tso Sung Tong, Hunanese chef Peng
So good.
Hang tight. There are a few twists in the tale of this chicken.
Everyone knows General Tso's chicken.
This sweet and sour dish was forged through wars, exile, and mass migration. Who is the dish named after? General Tso Sung Tong was a famous 19th century military leader in China. But there are no historical records of General Tso cooking or eating, let alone being passionate about this chicken recipe. And how could there be? This crispy dish popped up 70 years after General Tso died. So, why is it named after him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We'll get to that shortly. In 1949, after Mao Zedong, better known as Chairman Mao, toppled the nationalist government of China, party officials fled to Taiwan. They brought with them the Nationalist Party's own banquet chef, Peng, who was so passionate about his job, he left his family behind, as any good foodie would do. Chef Peng grew up poor, but got his lucky break as an apprentice to the legendary chef Su Jincheng in Changsha, the capital of Hunan province. The 1940s was the golden period of culinary experimentation in Hunan. In 1955, during his exile in Taiwan, Chef Peng created a new dish to honor the visit of a senior military official. Needing a name, Peng christened it with the first thing that came to mind in the moment. Guess what it is? General Tso.
What a twist!
But how did this experimental chicken find its way from Taiwan to North America? In the early 1970s, classically trained Chinese immigrant chefs in the U.S. started traveling to China and Taiwan to find new inspiration. David Tso and Sung Ting Wang were among the most notable chefs to fall in love with Peng's original recipe of General Tso's chicken. Each of them found their own way to adapt the recipe to suit American tastes. Wang added a crispy batter and sweetened sauce. Soon, the new versions of General Tso's chicken were becoming a staple at New York's emerging Hunan-style restaurants.
Let me walk you through it. Our standard order is the steamed dumpling appetizer, General Tso's chicken, beef with broccoli, shrimp with lobster sauce, and vegetable lo mein.
But the man behind this legendary dish was not amused. In an interview, Chef Peng explained that his original recipe, although not traditionally Hunanese, was closely inspired by those flavors. Most notably, no sugar was added.
You ain't got no sugar!
He scoffed at the new versions of General Tso's chicken, calling them all crazy nonsense. The original recipe finally reached the U.S. in 1973, when Chef Peng opened his own restaurant in New York. It was during this time Peng's cooking attracted the attention of the American Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, who became a vocal fan. And so began a nation's love affair with the sweet and spicy chicken. After a few ups and downs, by 1980, Chef Peng had sold his New York location and opened a new restaurant in Taipei. Back home, he tried to introduce General Tso's chicken to the Taiwanese people. It just didn't agree with the Hunanese taste palette. Peng eventually shut down his restaurant. So while it was Chef Peng who came up with the original recipe, the General Tso's chicken you eat today has been influenced by other chefs, much like many other American culinary inventions.
Sweet and sour like Chinese food.
And speaking of all-time favorite comfort foods, have you wondered how ramen took over the world? Well, we have, and we've got the answer for you in another episode of Origins of Food.